Morning. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made $750 at 3 a.m. in the morning. Yes, I actually traded the Asian session last night, so that was interesting. So the reason why I traded the Asian session last night was because of the debate between Biden and Trump, which made the market move quite a bit. So I took a long on GBP USD and I took a short on USD JPY, which are the pairs that I trade, as you know. So if we look at it from a daily perspective, we can see that essentially GBP/USD has reached a double top and it is edging downwards. Okay, so most likely it's gonna go to the level of 1.23. That's the ultimate target because there is an FVG over here, but obviously till then we're just gonna be chilling and just looking at the market. So now ultimately this FVG is going to get filled, okay, because like I said to you before, guys, every FVG gets filled. So now that the smart sellers have entered at this level, then we can assume that essentially that's the trajectory of the pair in the long term. Okay, guys, if you're a swing trader, that's what you're looking for. Now that's the overall outlook on a longer time frame. So now if we go on a 1 hour time frame, and I'm just going to split it as to, so what day is today? Today is Friday, so I'm gonna split it last night at let's say when the market opened 11 o'clock. Okay, so now let's go on a 30-minute chart. So if we analyze our chart, we can see essentially that this is the range. Okay, this is the range high and this is the range low. Okay, boom. So next we measure how big is the range from top to bottom. So it's about 90 pips, which is healthy. Okay, so on Thursday, which is yesterday, we saw that the pair essentially reached the bottom of the range. So this was the previous bottom, which was on Friday last week. Okay, so and that got broken yesterday, but I still didn't take a trade. So then we see that if we go on a 50-minute time frame, okay, we see this happening, then we see something, and then we see that this FVG got filled over here. Okay, we see this FVG got treated at 3 o'clock on Thursday. So this is where the sellers, this is where the buyers offloaded their positions and sellers entered. How do I know this? The logic behind this is that once this old range got broken right here, okay, look at the manner that the buyers entered. They entered very, very strongly. The moment that this area got broken, okay, over here, that's where basically the buyers entered. And you always need to look at the way that, at the manner as to how the buyers have entered the market. Okay, so after such a strong selling pressure, we saw essentially that the buyers decided to enter at the price of 1.2614. Okay, so this was the range. Within this range, this is where the buyers wanted to enter. And where is the offloaded situation in terms of for the buyers? Where are they gonna offload? Okay, well, there are two targets. Okay, the first target is the FVG right here in the 1 hour. Okay, this is the first target that you have. The second target is, of course, like I said to you guys before, below our range there is liquidity over here and here. So the next, so TP1 is here for the buyers, and this is TP2. Okay, now it's not gonna go to TP2 straight away, of course, so that's why it reached TP1 first. Now it's come down, basically getting more orders. Okay, because like I said, banks don't just press buy on MetaTrader 4 and put 10 million. No, they have to get it into batches. They have to buy 1 million, then they have to buy 2 million, then they will buy 5 million, then 3 million. So it takes time for the banks to load up on the positions and then move the market where they need to. Okay, so all of this is orchestrated, is not random, it's all done by design. So what happens when I woke up yesterday? So I woke up around 2:30 and I see this happening, okay, on my charts. I see this big push. The push already happened by the time I woke up, by the way. So this is what I saw. Okay, so because of this, what does all of this mean? Okay, so I'm gonna delete this. So what has this price actually swept? Okay, so I can see that essentially there was liquidity here, which I call LQ tap, okay, because the price tapped once and twice, and then there was some liquidity here. Okay, so I'll just call it liquidity. So you understand. So there was one here. Okay, but there is something else that I would like you to notice. Okay, and that's in the 1 hour. Okay, in the 1 hour, what I would like you to notice is that there is also an unfulfilled fair value gap. So once we see that the price tapped into not just once, okay, it tapped into twice and 3 times. So that means that the price essentially doesn't want to fulfill this, and it wants to essentially take more orders, which it has done. Okay, it has taken orders from here and here. Okay, so that just shows that how strongly the buyers would like to push this price to either again to TP1 or to TP2. So today is Friday, so I'm making this video, well, yeah, today is Friday, and there is core PC news which could add the volume needed to reach the high level of 1.27. So what did I do? So I entered my trade at 257. Okay, so let's find 257. Where is that? Okay, so this was my entry, and my entry was 28.9. My profit level was 20 pips and my stop loss was 10 pips. Okay, and I'll tell you also the logic behind why I did 10 pips and 20 pips. Okay guys, so now if I reset my chart, so what was the logic? I saw this high volume sweep, it took out the liquidity, it's respecting the FVG, doesn't want to break it. Okay, then once I saw essentially that not just that, there is also a liquidity print, which I will teach you guys later on. So what does a liquidity print mean? It's similar to a liquidity tap, but instead of like equal highs, it's basically lower highs or higher highs, but they are in vicinity. Okay, so this is between 5 and 1 o'clock. So within 6 hours, this much liquidity builds. So this is also a target. So when you see a liquidity print, the first level of structure, essentially, that's basically where the target can be. Okay, so this is where essentially the highest level of liquidity lies, where the first piece of structure essentially started. Okay guys, so that's what you can see. The moment that it reached here, this is actually live guys, so the moment it reached here, look how strongly the price dropped, because this was the last point of where the pocket of liquidity was essentially available. Okay, so right now what the price maybe will do is that take out this liquidity over here, meaning that it's going to take more orders in order for this to push up all the way to perhaps TP2. We don't know, it just depends what the market wants to do. So let me tell you the logic behind my trade. So once I saw this, I thought, okay, you know what, so this is my entry 28.9. so there's no point for me to put any bigger than 10 pip stop loss. Why? Because if the price breaks this 50% level, then more than likely there's so much liquidity below that my trade is invalid. So at the end of the day, as a trader, what you need to understand is that you need to get the direction right. If you don't get the direction right, no matter how big the stop loss is, you're always going to hit your stop loss, even if you put 100 pips. If the direction is wrong, you're wrong. So that's why you can work with tight stop losses. So if you get the direction right, it's gonna move in your way anyway. So this was a 1 to 2 risk to reward, and my stop loss was just below the 50% of the FVG, which it respected, and we saw that during London session. When the London session opened, that's when basically the TP was hit. Okay, so I also took another trade with the same logic, which was USD-JPY. So the reason why I trade USD-JPY and GBP-USD is because they are highly correlated. Okay, so let me remove this. Okay, and let me explain to you the logic behind my trade. So let's go on a 4-hour time frame. Okay, so we can see that overall USD JPY has been on a rampage. It has broken the highest of highs, and right now we're in no man's land. So I'm trading very, very carefully with this pair because anything can happen these days. So I'm a bit confused in the sense that obviously it does look like an uptrend, but we just don't know how high this pair is going to go. So now and that's basically my analysis on the 4 hours. Basically, I'm mainly looking for buys, but then again, I don't have a bias ever. I just looking at the trajectory of the pair and looking live what happens in the market. So then we go on a 1 hour time frame, and this is where I mark basically my charts. Okay, so I mark my high and the low. So, and I usually mark the high and the low from where the move starts. Okay, so basically this is where the move started. All right, this is where the move started, and this is where the move ended. Okay, well, actually that's the new piece of structure, but this was my previous structure because this happened last night. Okay, so this is what I had. Okay, now then what did I do? So this, just imagine this is how the chart looks, guys. Okay, this is how the chart looks, okay, before the trade happened. Okay, then what happened was that I drew my Fibonacci, okay, and I mark my 50% level, so I know basically where the market wants to retrace. Okay, now then what can we see? So I still didn't take a trade, by the way, because nothing happened. So basically there's basically liquidity below and there's liquidity above. Okay, guys, so now we're going to see what happens. Okay, so this is Friday. We see a high volume sweep, high volume. Look at the size of that candle, guys. This moved from 69 to that 40 pips. Okay, 40 pips. Now once I saw this, okay, and I woke up around 2:30, so I entered my trade at 2:57. At 2:57 I entered at, let me check, guys, just one moment. My entry was 069, so it was somewhere around here. Okay, my stop loss was 15 pips and my TP was 30 pips. Okay, so I entered the 3 o'clock. Okay, and my target, essentially the reason why I went for a sell was, first of all, a high volume sweep. Okay, so that means that smart sellers or smart buyers have entered the market. But why did I sell? The reason why, as to why I sold, was because first of all I saw this, okay, and I saw that essentially this wasn't broken. Okay, this high was not broken, so it was respecting that level. Okay, so because it was respecting that level, that gave me the clue that, okay, this pair does not want to push any more higher than that. And not just that, once this black candle appeared, that's when I understood that essentially the smart sellers have entered into the market. The smart sellers want to sell. So what I did was I essentially drew my FVG right here. Okay, I drew it and I saw that it essentially respected once, twice, And at the third time, I decided to just enter. I was like, okay, if this goes if this pair wants to go down, then more than likely it's not going to break the 50% level of the FVG, which is the same logic that I had with the GBP USD theory as well. That's why I had 10 pips. Okay, so then what happened after I entered, I just went to sleep. Okay, I just went to sleep and I was just waiting for London session to essentially play out. Okay, and when London session played out, I saw GBP USD hit TP, but USD JPY was not hit yet. So then once I can see 1 second, pair is moving. So now London session has volume has entered, and we can see that the pair is just moving. They retraced a little bit. It took some time, but honestly guys, sometimes that's what you have to do. You just have to hold it, and boom, this is what happened essentially. You can see. So that was the logic behind my trade, guys. I mean, it's very simple. So this week was actually quite tough in terms of like being patient, because a lot of the reason why I traded the Asian session was because I saw that, wow, even Thursday, like I didn't have any opportunities during my 3 to 8 p.m. The only opportunity I had legitly using my strategy when you backtested it was actually between 1 to 2 a.m. So I was like, okay, this week perhaps most of my strategy is working during the Asian session. So that's why sometimes what you need to realize is that your strategy, it's not that your strategy is bad, it's just that your strategy might not work that week within that within those parameters. You may have to adjust. Okay, so essentially this will happen. $730 trading the Asian session, and this was, I used the same strategy everywhere with my GBP and my USD JPY. So yeah guys, if you would like to know more, just text us and we'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you.